Well, welcome to the Stone Roadie podcast. It's the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Kathy Godsey and all the old friends that come along. Lord, we'll be talking Skynyrd and leaving you with a song.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 171, action. Well, good morning, fellow Earthlings. This is the Stoned Roadie Show, and it's Monday, May the 20th. The Wake and Bake and the Morning Buzz episode number 52. Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz number 52. And what the heck? What are we going to talk about this here Monday morning there, Griff?
We got some people that were pissed off about not coming on Monday. You know, whenever you had a Saturday night special, we were going to not do it Monday. So Craig said, no, I guess we'll have to keep on doing the Monday. So
yeah, Monday, I guess people was having the Basketball Jones for the Monday show. The people that are addicted to the Stone Roadie show. You can't take away Monday. That's when I need to wake and bake the most. Monday, going back to work. Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have a Jones.
Well, we might have to do like a best of or something every now and then, though. I don't know. So Craig says we'll keep doing that, even if we do a Saturday night special. And I'm wearing my Dave the Disciple hat, Make America High Again. He sent me a box. You never know what Dave's going to send you. You get this box, and there's all kinds of goodies in there, and there was a bunch of shirts and things in there, and he's always sending me and Craig stuff. And I know he's working on some refrigerator magnets that's got Craig. He says something about you're just stoned, you're not hungry.
Close that door. You're just stoned. You're not hungry.
Yeah, and so we got plenty of cool comments and things to go over again. And also my fishing trip for Monday, I moved it to Wednesday, the fishing trip with Gene Odom, because it looks like there's going to be rain Monday and Tuesday. And Wednesday seems like a better day. And so I decided to move it, and I made a little video when I was out there prepping Bad Company 2, and I made a little video of the boat. It's kind of a cool boat that I picked up for like $500, and it's a 77 bow rider, and it's got a 70 horse Merc, which is a 1978 Mercury. And so I videotaped it with the outboard running. I had a guy who used to work at Cypress Gardens on all of the boats the two strokes that they used back in the 70s. And he was their mechanic, and he went through that outboard for me, and that thing's running like a top. So as a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and show that right now. Yeah, so that we got that. I'll show you. And then at the end of the podcast here, I got a what the heck is that, Craig? A gummy?
Yeah.
That's not one of those red ones like you gave me, is it?
No, these are store-bought. These aren't man-made.
Yeah. Those things
These
kind
are
of,
child's play.
I tried to get high sometimes, but that stuff just makes me sick. I just like being normal.
They're good for a wake and bake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
morning buzz. They're good for a morning buzz. Yeah.
yeah, but you'll be in the couch. Yeah. So at the end of the podcast here, I put together a little thing with Gene Odom, who back in 2017, and I was pretty crippled up. That's when I met Gene in 2016, and I think I'd had hip surgery and back surgery, and I went to Gene's and or over to Jacksonville, and Gene took me out to the. He actually did a tour, a West Side tour with me, and so what I did was I kind of pulled the footage out of the part that we did the Hell House tour, which was out there on Peters Creek and the railroad bridge. And it's a pretty good little video. It's not real long, and give you a little dose of Gene Odom before it gives you something to hold you over, so we can do that fishing trip on Wednesday. And I don't know when I'll put it up, but I'll put it up as soon as I can as far as the fishing trip. We got that to look forward to. And then there's a nice lady that I know. She lives out there where Steve Gaines grew up in Miami, Oklahoma. And she gave me the number of a guy who went to school with Steve Gaines. And so cross your fingers. I'm going to give that guy a call pretty soon and see if I can't either get him on the podcast or maybe even go out there on the road with Griff Martin to Oklahoma and see if I can dig around and run into some people. I know I promised you guys that earlier, and I'm still working on it. It takes time to gather that stuff up. So that's something cool to look forward to. And then, I've got that guy that TP set me up with, Todd Howlworth, who's connected to a lot of cool bands. I need to call him, but I hear he's going through jury duty right now. So there's some things coming up that we got to look forward to. Craig, you got anything going on?
I saw TP went to a bottle signing.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
got the bottle, and then I guess she got snuck in some other stuff, and somebody was saying, "You were lucky you got in with all that other stuff. They wouldn't let us in with nothing."
Yeah, I think she took some albums or something in there, shirts and things.
Your shirt, yeah, I saw them autographed a shirt. Yeah, I heard all they were doing was autographing the bottle, but I guess she got some other stuff in.
Was that out in California?
I don't know where it was. I just saw.
Yeah, TP. She's got a band that they do Journey cover stuff. And,
Yeah, it's called. Oh God. She sent me a couple of T-shirts. I can't.
She's cool. She's really cool, and she's also a conservative and a staunch one. And she don't play no shit neither, man. I would not want to tangle with TP. I don't think I'd want to tangle with her.
Oh, the name of her band's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. I can't think of it though.
Oh, yeah, and there's you've had a little bit more of a recall on that tackle box too, right, Craig?
Oh God, yeah. It says bass on the front of it, and I said it was.
Yeah.
I said the tackle box was orange. I think the thing that says bass on it is orange, and then when you open it up, there's some trays in there that are orange, but I think the outside is more of a tannish color. I don't know. There's a lot of orange in it. All I can remember was orange. But I can remember that yellow knife, that fishing knife, is in there, and some lures and And it seems like that pocket fisherman's in there. I don't know. We'll have to.
Yeah, you got some memory jogging loose on that thing. Now all we need you to do is remember where the hell you put it.
I thought it was downstairs in the furnace room. I had a bunch of stuff down there, but and then I thought it was downstairs, but that's kind of hard to find something downstairs like it is over here.
Well, I don't think you realize how many people are on the edge of their seat wanting to look inside that damn tackle
I'll
box.
find it. It could be over there under that desk over there. I swear it could be 10 feet from me. I swear to God. It's
Well,
just,
you can't rush things because, if you sometimes that messes you up. You just got to let things go the way they go. And maybe you'll be having one of those aurora borealis dreams, and it'll pop up in your head, and you'll jump up in the middle of the night and go, I know where the hell it's at.
oh God, there's other
And
stuff
you
I
better
like.
write it down though, so you don't
Well,
forget.
you know how long I've been looking for that ganja oil shirt. I mean, I really haven't been looking hard, but I've gone up and looked, and
Well,
I
I
don't know.
told you I'll come up there and I'll do a on the road with Griff Martin, and I'll go in the attic in the basement, and we'll just have a damn
I got
podcast of finding shit.
I got so many T-shirts. I don't even. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
I mean, I'm good at finding stuff, and then we'll get Sammy to go up there
Well, the
and we'll
stuff
do
ain't
it.
going nowhere. It's always just, it's like money in the bank. Gene's right. I got jars of money buried out. Yeah. On
Yeah,
T-shirts,
Gene,
paraphernalia.
I was telling Gene I want to go up to Craig's house. He goes, I'll go with you. I'm not going to be looking for shit in the attic. I won't be digging out in the yard for those jars. He swears to God you got money buried everywhere.
Uh, I got
And a
stuff
fuselage
buried.
and a Convair 240 fuselage in your barn.
Yeah, right. That's the only piece of an airplane that I have in that jar right there. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a fuselage. That's the only little piece of airplane I have.
Yeah, I can
In
vouch for
that
that.
jar.
Craig don't. And that pick that you got
Oh, and
around your
this
neck.
pick around my neck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Craig don't give a shit about any of that
I
crap.
just
He
put
don't
it
even
where.
care. He don't even care about that tackle box. If it was one of us, we'd be,
I care
yelling.
about it. I know I have it. As long as I can't find it, I'll still have it.
And you know what else, Craig? The bad thing is you don't have a wife living there with you. You can blame it on where she put it.
Maybe the problem is I don't want to find it.
All guys do that when they have a wife and they lose something. They blame it on their wife. Where the hell did you put it? I know you put it somewhere.
I think I hid it from myself so I wouldn't sell it because
Yeah, I don't know,
I
man, but you
was
need to
selling.
find that
I
thing.
sold stuff I wish I wouldn't have sold, but oh
And
well.
then you said you kind of remember Ronnie fishing with that pocket fisherman.
I remember. I don't know. I remember going out when we were at one of the gigs and he was down fishing out of and he. It just seems that like he was using a pocket fisherman. I can't swear to it, but it just seems like that was he was using, and I found that humorous, but I don't know if it was just a dream or
Then
I
you
don't
remember
know, but
seeing it on the bus. You remember that it was on the bus and the plane, and so well, you said it had to
yeah.
be on the plane because it was in
Well,
the
like I
storage
said,
place.
it was in that stuff in the warehouse, and I always assumed it was Ronnie. I couldn't have figured out who else would have been, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean, he's
see.
the only one that really liked to fish. I mean, I'm sure Gary liked to fish too, but
Yeah, yeah. Gary and Ronnie used to fish a lot. It just not just in that. They had bad company, um, the boat, and that was both their boat. And Ronnie had the red Jeep, and they used that red Jeep to pull bad company. So that was
yeah.
that was they used to go out in that a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
guarantee you that was well. We'll know more about it when you find it. You just got to get motivated. You got to get some sativa and smoke some sativa and leave that indica alone for a couple
leave
days.
that indica alone, huh? But yeah, cousin Figel called me today, man. I felt bad. He said, "Man, Craig," he said, "this might be the last time I talk to you, buddy." He said, "I said, man, what's going on?"
Yeah,
He says, "Man," he said, "just things are just spinning like I'm on a Ferris wheel, man." He says
bless
your
his heart,
kidney's
man.
still hurting. He goes, "Yeah, he's got a lot of things wrong with him. He's got COPD. He's got liver problems from drinking, I guess, and he's got some kind of muscular thing. I don't know what they something. I guess Peter Frampton's got the same thing. He was telling me some kind of muscular thing where your muscles get holes in them like Swiss cheese or something like that. It's weird."
Yeah, last time I saw Peter Frampton on I guess it was YouTube or a film reel or something. He was sitting down playing now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Cousin Figel said that Peter Frampton is the one that told him he had it, not person to person, but he was explaining, as to what he had and what the symptoms were. And Cousin Figel said, "Well, that's what I have."
Oh, so that's where
And
he
so he went to the
related it to,
doctor,
yeah.
and then the doctor confirmed that's what he had. I guess
I'll
it's
be
pretty
damned.
rare. Yeah, but
Well, let's not talk about it too much because I'll end up with it.
yeah, so
But
but
we,
yeah, he's got that
yeah,
hat. He says, "Man, I can't even. I'm not even strong enough to take pictures of that hat." He's got that Ronnie's hat, and he's got a flag that Johnny gave him when he had his son with him. His son was only like 12 or something like that, and
no kidding.
he had his son with him, and yeah, and Johnny gave cousin Faisal and his son the Confederate flag from the microphone, and it was one of the last ones
Wow.
that they
Yeah, because they
used
don't do that anymore.
before they quit using the Confederate flag. It was one of the last ones, so he was gonna auction that and the hat and a guitar I think he had or something like that. But he says, man, he's just
Too weak, huh?
not strong enough to do it. Yeah, so we're thinking about cousin Figel.
Yeah, you guys send some prayers out for cousin Figel, and he still watches the podcast because I get emails from him, and
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's all he has to do. He just says he lays
yeah,
and watches TV and watches
and
stuff.
he's got a comment in here somewhere too. So
Yeah,
those
he
are,
said he had a comment. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot that
So
he had a
let's
comment.
go ahead and jump into these comments, Sir Craig. There was quite a bit of them. So I can't get to all of them. It's gonna be that way, I think, from now on, maybe 'cause there's a lot of comments, but I get to as many as I can.
Well, I
You
got
know,
I got a funny story that happened to me last night before we
yeah,
uh,
go ahead, tell
uh
it.
it was Saturday night. Yeah. I go see a friend of mine play Steve Etheridge. He donated $100 into our fund. I went and seen him one night playing, and he donated $100, and so I go I used to I used to date his sister back in. I can't remember if it was before Skinner, right after high school, or right before Skinner, or right after Skinner, after the crash. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, but yeah, well, anyways, but yeah, I go to see him, and they got a band called Murphy's Law, and they're real good. They're really entertaining, and the only one of the guys I know his name is Michael Armbuster, and he's the drummer, and I can't remember the other two guys' name, but anyway, so I went there last night to the upper deck, and I was sitting there with the way the bar is oriented. It's right there, right in front of Steve. He's the lead guitar player. So I was sitting there, and the stage isn't, not even 10 feet away from where I was sitting, and then the dance floor is there and everything. they played You Got That Right, and at the end, Steve said, and this goes out to my buddy Craig, you know, and I was just then I was taking a hit off my little vapor pipe, you know. So
The same thing you had in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when we were walking.
yeah. So I took a big old hit of that, and I was holding it, and I was kind of blew it out a little bit, and there was a big old whoosh of smoke come out, you know. And I don't know what the logistics are about smoking in bars or nothing, so I figured I'd better cover it up like that. So I was holding my nose like this, and I looked over to the side, and some really good-looking woman was waving at me and smiling, you know, like this, and I thought, oh my, she must have seen me taking that hit, you know. So I didn't think much about it. So then I looked back over to her, and she was laughing, and she got up and come over to me, and I went, oh my God, I don't know this woman. God, she's way too young for me and way too good looking. I mean, this woman's a solid 9. I don't care where you go, man. And she was just in casual clothes, man. She's gorgeous, man. So she come up to me, you know, and I just put my arm out like that, goes, hey, you know, yeah. And she goes, why aren't you out there dancing? I goes, I don't dance, you know. And she goes, well, you're this groupie for this band, aren't you? And I don't know if it,
groupie.
yeah, she said, you're the groupie for this band, aren't you? And I goes, no. I said, they're friends of mine, but I'm not a groupie for this band. I said, you know, I used to be a roadie, you know, years ago. I used to be a roadie. She said, well, what's a roadie? I said, well, roadie works for a band. She goes, well, what's the difference between a groupie and a roadie? And right there I went, God, that's right there it is. Right there it is. That's why roadies don't be called roadies, because a lot of people don't know what the difference between a roadie and a groupie is, you know.
They think they're a groupie.
Yeah, roadie and a groupie, they don't know the difference, you know. So I just said, well, you know, a roadie works for a band, and you know, a groupie just travels around and follows a band, but a roadie actually works for the band and, you know, does all the equipment and stuff. She said, well, isn't that what you do for this band here? I goes, no. And she goes, well, I said, well, she said, I'm a dental technician. Not only that, I'm your dental technician. I went, you know, and I'm going, well, wait a minute, you know, yeah, my dental technician does have blonde hair, but she's always wearing a mask, so I don't really know what she looks like. She goes, yeah, I'm always wearing a mask, and she's always got those, you know, those scrubs on, you know, that a nurse wears with that mask on. And I just thought it was I could tell she was relatively attractive, but no, she's a solid 9 on any chart, you know.
So did she end up knowing who you were? That you were?
No, she knew who I was.
I mean, as far as like related to Skynyrd, how you're.
Oh, I've talked to her briefly about the dental place where I go. I've talked to, but I've said my dentist has said to me, he said, man, he's the guy that owns the dentist place. He said, you've had a really interesting life. I said, yeah, you'll make a heck of a lot more money than I ever did, but I have a heck of a lot more fun than you ever thought about, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All you did was standing around with your hands in somebody's mouth most of your, you know, good years of your life. You know, I was out there chasing women and drinking and snorting cocaine and kicking up my heels, you know. But yeah, so I went back over, and after the concert was over, I said goodbye to Steve and Mike and them, and So I walked over to her. I said, yeah, I'd have never, ever realized that was you. It's funny.
Well,
You know.
next time you go in there, then she'll probably have a little chat with you.
Oh God, it's funny.
Remind
No,
you.
that's just funny. That's just pretty funny. Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
could never imagine she's that good looking. My God.
she always had the mask on, huh?
Always had the mask on. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. All right. Well,
It's
that's
just funny.
okay. Well, let's go ahead and jump into these questions and get through them here. And we were talking about TP earlier, and I think she messaged this question to me. I didn't get it off of the comments. It says, "Well, did the guys ever fight over the same woman anytime in the?"
No, I
You
don't think
remember any of
so.
that? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Not
No.
that I. No, I don't think so. Never
And
wanted to go around.
and she goes, "Who was the easiest band whore?"
Oh God, I don't know.
All
I
of them.
don't know. Uh, well,
Oh,
you can take Steve out of the
yes.
equation because he just didn't fool around, and Artemis didn't really fool around, and Billy, I don't know. Occasionally, maybe I don't know. He snuck it pretty good, I think, and Leon was bad, and I guess Gary and Ronnie were pretty bad.
Gary and Ronnie and
Alan,
Leon.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess
The four,
everybody except for Stephen Artemis.
the four Musketeers.
Yeah, whatever.
And then you were going out getting them for them, so you ought to
Uh,
know.
I kept a few for myself. Yeah, I wasn't stingy.
Yeah, but you were actually giving them seconds because you were going, "Hey, how
Not
bad do
all
you
the
want to meet?"
not all the time. They came in pairs and quadruplets a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take the prettiest one though.
There's a lot of things that Craig don't remember, but I guarantee there's a lot of things he does remember too. Okay, so there you go, TP. There's your answer to that, and we appreciate all you do, and that's why I wanted to make sure I got your comment on there because she's really cool. John Afferty, I guess that's his
Open
name.
Arms. That's the name of her
Open
band.
Arms, yeah, that sounds.
That's the
There you
name
go. I
of
knew
her.
you'd remember it.
See,
Now,
it takes me a minute, but I'll think of it. I just that door has
yeah, it's
oil.
that's all right. It was that gummy. That gummy
That's
jarred
what
it
it
loose.
was. That gummy. Yeah.
So John Afferty says, I want to post a comment, if nothing else, to make the computers work. This show is very interesting. Most, if not all, Skynyrd fans have been waiting for years for this information. And thank you, Griff, for keeping Craig on subject and keep the stories coming. Yeah, well, we always like new subscribers and people that haven't commented before. And thanks there, John. We appreciate you watching. And, I hope you got a number. I hope you sent Craig an email and got you a number for the drawing, which,
Is
that's
that John Hartline?
no, Afferty.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah,
first time he's ever
John
commented.
said the guy that bought those two T-shirts. He says, "What's my number?" I said, "Well." I looked on my whole thing. I said, "Well, I don't have you down for a number. You gotta ask me for a number before I give you a number." So I gave him a choice of some numbers. So
Yeah, so if you guys want to be in on the drawing every Friday that we've been having, you better email Craig at thestonedroadie@gmail.com, right, Craig?
yeah, thestonedroadie@gmail.com.
Yeah, and ask him for a number. If you don't do that, you will not get a number, and then you'll
Yeah.
send him a number back, right?
Oh yeah, I sent him. I gave him a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, so anybody
I
wanting
told
to
him. I
be,
told him he could have 51 if he wanted. I said I feel a number toward the middle coming up, and it was 47. So, God, I'm almost like a soothsayer here.
Yeah.
I'm picking them right.
So for all the new subscribers, there's prizes on this podcast that you can win, and they've been things that have been on the Lynyrd Skynyrd airplane when it crashed, and Craig will sign it for you, and you guys just you got to keep watching, man. You got to keep watching, or you're not. If you win, and you
Oh
don't come
yeah,
back
yeah.
and
We
tell them, yeah,
this week the prize besides the $50 is one of those Rossington Collins stickers.
yeah,
And then I think then the prize after that will be, because we said that the final prize of the grand prize will be the best of the what was out of there. So that would be the Hell House next week. After this week, the Hell House thing will be the grand prize. And then maybe we'll go into the fishing lures to finish off the
yeah.
spring. Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
cool.
maybe we'll do that, and then maybe on the next that thing we'll give away quarters instead of $50.
But these things come with letters of authenticity.
Yeah.
So been on the plane, and yeah, that's a nice little collector's item there. And Craig, I don't know, I still haven't got mine yet. I'm waiting for the mail to come. You said you were going to mail it.
Oh yeah, I got a check there for you too. For the shipping shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy
Great.
Keeble said she's sending me some money because I spend a lot of money on shipping. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I noticed that we got a donation in the comments, a $20.
Yeah, I did notice that. We
I've got that written in
a
here. The guy that did
$20
that.
we got a $20 thing that goes on to the
Yeah, that was cool.
our whatever it is.
Into the payment to YouTube.
YouTube, but they probably take a percentage out of that,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. They probably, yeah, of course they do. Handling,
Yeah, they got to get their share, just like eBay does. Okay, moving right along, and then you got Ann Michelle, and she goes, Craig, it's time to quit smoking. At times you look cement gray. We don't want to lose our world-class roadie. So she thinks you're smoking too much weed. I was thinking about that, and I said, man, I want to put that clip of Kramer on Seinfeld when he was having a smoke convention next door. And Jerry comes over and he goes, your face looks like a catcher's mitt.
Hey, buddy. Hey, you should come over. Tonight's pipe night. Look at your face. It looks like an old catcher's mitt. Face is all craggly. It's crinkly. It's from all that smoke. You've experienced a lifetime of smoking in 72 hours. What did you expect?
You ever seen that one, that Seinfeld? That's hilarious.
Well, I had people getting in my shit because I wasn't smoking on the show. They goes, that's the whole premise of the show for Wake and Bake, and you gotta have the host having the party. You gotta have him smoking, or it's not legit, So
yeah, well, I know sometimes maybe you got a little bit too much weed when you come on, but I can't tell the difference. You look the same to me all the time,
Oh, well.
And we had a guy, he commented, we were talking about when did Huey die? And he said Huey died when he was with the Outlaws, 9907. So I guess he reformed with the Outlaws. There's another comment in here about that. When we get to that, I'll read that.
I left in beginning 06.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end of 05, yeah.
Yeah, so more on that here in the comments. And then Rich Johnson, Craig has the best photos of Skynyrd. And he says, Craig, since you don't want to write a book, why don't you consider doing a photo book with captions and a little short story about each picture? That wouldn't be hard to do.
I thought about doing that. Matter of fact, there's an episode of Steinfeld where Kramer does an episode where he makes a book and it's a
The
coffee
coffee
table,
table
the
book. Yeah.
coffee table book, and I was gonna do a book and have it one that turned into a coffee table and have it full of pictures. Yeah, I thought about doing that. Yeah, coffee
Yeah.
table book.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you got a lot of pictures, and
That'd be unique, huh?
then you could even do screenshots off of all your films.
Yeah.
Even, you got to, but if you can't find a simple tackle box, you ain't no way you're going to do that.
I keep a pretty good tab on my photos, so I do.
I think you're doing pretty good doing a podcast. I mean, that's a lot of work, and you're doing good with that. So, and there's a lot of good information. So, yeah, you guys don't push Craig too much, man. He's
I
doing
do.
the best he
I
can.
guess I do okay just trying to answer questions. I do the
Yeah,
best I
yeah.
can.
Heck yeah, man. You're doing more than anybody else does or did.
And I perform better high, I think. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what that's what everybody knows that you were able to perform your functions and your job as a roadie, even though you were able to
Yeah.
smoke weed.
I'm
You
just
were-
I'm just proving it. I'm doing a podcast, totally stoned. Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Just proving Ron's point. I can do anything high.
Mark Regan says, "Great podcast. In regards to Ronnie's tackle box, I put things in a safe place too, and can't find them." He says it'll show up eventually. So there's a lot of people hoping that you find it, and I'm sure they probably think you will. It says here another person in a crash site video, they said they dug a hole and buried a bunch of debris. Does Gene Odom remember that? Well, yeah, there was. I know enough about that. When I was at the crash site, they did. What they did was they had people going around and they gave them actually a white bag, a white plastic like garbage bag, or black bag, white bag, one of the two. And they had people, volunteers, going around picking up debris, and they put it in the bag, and then they would go over and they would show, I guess, an FAA guy the pieces so they could look and see if they were something that was worth looking for, identifying for reasons why the plane crashed, and then if they couldn't use it, they threw all of those into a big hole, and they buried all that stuff. But since then, there's been so many people out there, since starting not too long after the crash, that have been pilfered through there, and that stuff's just about gone out of there. There's little hunks of glass, and every now and then a little piece of metal might pop up, but I guess when it rains, that kind of stuff will pop up, but but you can't get out there anyway. There's cameras out there, and so unless they do an excavation one day, 20, 30 years from now, and do like some kind of a documentary on it or something, but that stuff's pretty much buried and lost. But Gene never really goes to the crash site. He just goes to the monument, and he hangs out there, and he talks to Dwayne and a lot of the folks that he knows up there, and people will come to the monument, and they'll get to meet Gene, and he sells some shirts there, and he's there a lot. He just got back from the monument, and and he plans on going there in October too. So, yeah. So Gene, he don't really care too much about that plane crash site. Let me see here. We got turn the page. Another person said Skinner did a concert in conjunction with those fishing lures. I guess when they were selling those lures, they must have advertised those lures somehow. Do you remember that, Craig? They had some kind of a deal with Walmart, is what it says here.
No,
Is that video I took? I took
yeah,
that
that's the
video.
one you took of me in my front yard with my Banshee. Sammy was telling me when he gave them to me, it was something to commemorate the shootings, one of the school shootings. I don't remember which. Sandy, the one.
Oh yeah, that had something to do with the lures.
Sammy said that's what Sammy was telling me. It had something to do with, they made it in conjunction with oh God, one of those school shootings.
So they were maybe selling the lures to send a donation through the lures. Sale of the lures. Or anybody knows anything about that? Let us know. Yeah, that would be interesting to find out. Because
it's just a novelty.
I remember when those lures came out. I remember, and I think I bought one actually, or fished with one or something. But I do remember when those came out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's also
they're all like I said before. They're all about the same, except they're a little painted a little different, and that's the ones in blue.
Yeah, and the signatures on the back, that's printed. That's not real signatures. That's just copied of all the guys that signed it.
Yeah.
Lynyrd Skynyrd lures. I always thought that was a great idea because I told Gene, I said, Gene, you ought to have you a lure, a Gene Odom lure, because I mean he was Ronnie's fishing buddy, and
yeah, there's the signatures on the back.
Yeah, which it's not real signatures; it's just copied signatures.
Yeah.
So anybody knows anything more about those lures? Put them in the comments there, and we'll read your comment. We appreciate when people report back to us with the follow-up on stuff like that, because that's what we like to do.
Yeah, maybe we'll extend we got so much to give away, maybe we'll extend our giveaway up to the 4th of July or something.
All right. Yeah, we got lures to give away now. So
yeah, we got all kind of stuff to give away.
David Rice, he says, I would cherish that Tupperware that Griff got from Leslie. He says, but who the hell borrows a damn? Oh, that wasn't David Rice that said that. This was somebody else. I got those mixed up. Davis Rice says he would cherish that Tupperware that Griff has, and then somebody else in here said something about I should have gave the damn thing back. And yeah, this is when I went over to Leslie's house, she made me some chili, and she sent a to-go home with me in this thing. And I asked her, how do I get that back? She said, don't worry about it. And then her husband, Bobby, said, sell it on eBay.
That's what I was just going to say. You should have had her sign it.
No, I didn't, I didn't want to push, she was so nice to me, and I had the chili and I got the Tupperware. And I mean, that's for me, it's just who the heck has a honkette make them chili and send them chili home? I mean, this is like, it's like a holy grail to me, that Tupperware. And I know it might sound kind of crazy, but that's my favorite collectible of all my Lynyrd Skynyrd collectible is my Leslie Hawkins Tupperware. I mean, Just a personal. It's a personal thing. I'll never get rid of it. So yeah. Um, so yeah, that's the deal on that. And Brian Gibbons. Now we're going to get Brian Gibbons on here. He's the guy that lost all the weight, and he says he's looking forward to coming on the podcast and talking about how he lost all that weight, and he thinks that Craig has a bad rap for fat shaming because because he's helped a lot of people lose weight, believe it or not. I mean, I'd say Craig probably has helped hundreds of people lose weight, and most of them don't admit it. Because I know every time I see somebody fat walking around, I think about Craig. You know, that's the first thing I think of. Wow,
I know
Craig.
there's about a dozen that say I saved their life.
Yeah, just think of the people that, that probably are watching themselves now just because, I mean, it's true, and a lot of people, I think they just give up. I think a lot of times too, like there's a hotel across the street from me. I live downtown, and there's a hotel across the street from me, and it's like a lot of handicapped people in there, and they just sit around in their walkers all day, and then a lot of times, like it'll start raining, and they'll pick their walker up and start running to the door, and I'm like, they don't need a damn walker there over there, They just like feel sorry for themselves. I mean, there's a lot of people over there that actually do need it, but I think if people just give up. You gotta keep going. That's what Gene taught me whenever I got hit by the car on my bicycle. You got to get up off your ass, start moving. And
my buddy Sam that gave us the fishing lures, he was an iron worker, so he had to keep his weight up, but then after he retired, he sat over here listening to me fat shame, and he said, looking in the mirror don't do it. You don't see it. He said, when I was at your birthday party and watched those movies of me cooking fish, he went, oh my God, that's me.
yeah,
And he lost 50 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, the
He
camera
said, yeah,
does.
you gotta see a movie of yourself or see pictures of you. Yeah, looking in the mirror don't do it. He goes, I saw that movie of me. I went, oh my God, that's me.
And one thing about Craig too is if he sees a picture of you and you look fat in it, he'll call you on the phone and he'll go, "Hey Griff, did you see that picture that I posted of you on Facebook?" And I went, "No, you were really fat. Your gut was sticking out really far." And then one time he calls me.
Yeah, Dickie do, yeah.
And then one time he calls me and he says, that picture you posted at Chad, he's talking about his son. They were at my house and we did a group picture, and he goes, did you see how fat Chad is? And I go, I didn't really pay attention, and he goes, go back and look. His belly is just hanging in it. And then I was like, God almighty. He don't discriminate, man. He's like an equal opportunity fat shamer. He don't, and he don't mean it, but he does. So yeah, that's what makes people keep their weight down. And as soon as we get those refrigerator magnets, we'll start giving it. Maybe what we'll do is if you ask for one on the comments, we'll send you one, because that's not something you need to win. That's something you need to get. That's something you need to have. So Dave, start printing them up, man. Oh God. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, here's a cousin Figel says he bought 5 of those fishing lures back in the day, and he caught 5 bass in 2 hours, and they really work.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he says here. He said he used those fishing lures. He bought them back when they first came out, and 5 bass. Well, it's got instructions on there.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's got the instructions on it. Yeah.
on how to fish with them. It says, as soon as the ripples are like 2 feet away from the bait, then you can start moving it. It just tells
Three
you the
feet
whole thing.
radius. Yeah, you let it hit the water and there'll be a 3 feet radius, and then you shake it a little bit and then throw
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine they probably work. But,
it.
uh, Tim Fawcett's the guy that made the $20 donation, Craig.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, his name's Tim. We appreciate that, Tim. I forgot all about that. If you want to donate to YouTube, then I guess it goes right into the monetization, right, Craig?
Yeah, I don't even pay no attention to that. Like I said before, I don't want people to donate in the first place. And if you donate there, YouTube takes part of it. So I don't know. I don't really.
Yeah, we're trying to get the monetization to pay the survivors, but we do accept
I'm sure
donations.
they take a part of whatever you put in there through there. I'm sure they take
Yeah, I'd be curious to find out how much. Um, and then Dave says, I guess this is Dave the disciple, says he can't wait to see the fishing trip. Yeah, that's going to happen Wednesday. And Gene's going to come over. This is what's going to happen. Gene's going to come over Wednesday to my house, and he's going to bring a little show and tell item, and I'll videotape. It's actually a piece of wood that came from the dock, about a 3-foot piece of wood that came off the dock out there at Hell House. And then I'm going to present him that dobro right there, because we're just going to go ahead and give him that dobro to do with whatever he wants. And I think he's going to take it out to the monument and auction it off in October. So he's going to pick that up. And then I've got a painting that I did of Gene and Ronnie on the plane playing poker. And he's going to sign that for me. And I'll videotape all that for you guys. You'll get to hear Gene. And then we're going to go out fishing. We're going to go chunk some shiners, because this time of year they're not bedding. So we need to cheat all we can and trying to catch a fish. And we're going to go get some shiners and throw them out there and see if we can't get at least Gene to catch a bass or two. But we're gonna go out there and Bad Company 2, and I'm gonna videotape all that. So that's gonna be cool. Not too many people. I don't think I've ever seen a video other than the videos that you have, Craig, of Gene fishing. So this is an exclusive, a Stoned Roadie exclusive. So you guys be looking for that coming up. Crazy.
Started fishing, so fishing with Gene.
Yeah, I've told him about that. I actually have. Yeah, he'll do it. He's spread thin,
He needs a cameraman, huh?
Yeah, that's gonna be me. Crazy Bob says, I see where Whitey's Fish Camp has one of Griff's Hell House paintings. Saw it on Molly Hatchet on the Molly Hatchet Singers Facebook. Parker Lee, I guess, was posting some pictures of Whitey's, and he took a picture of my Hell House painting, and I saw that, and that looks like a counterfeit copy of my painting, because the writing don't look the same. I mean, it's my painting, but the writing looks different. But heck, man, I'll give them a copy of the Hell House if they want one, but it's up for sale now. Whitey's is. So let's wait and see what they do with it. I want to give it to them, and then they sell the place and turn it into a condominium or something, I don't know what they're going to do with Whitey's when they sell it, but it is up for sale. We'll see what I hope for. Hopefully they'll keep it and just change owners, and maybe they'll make it even better. It's pretty good now. I don't see how you can make it any better. And a little bit more on Huey. Tom Hill said Huey left Skynyrd back in 2005 to reform the Outlaws with Henry Paul and Monte Yoho. He toured with them a couple years before he died, and he died in his lazy boy watching a college football game. So that's the way to go, man.
Yeah, I guess they got Sparky there in 2005. I retired right at the end of 2005. I guess he did shortly after that too.
But man, he was a phenomenal guitar player. Good God.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. So I
just
guess they got Sparky in 2005, 6, whatever.
yeah, and Sparky's great too.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, all those
all those
guys are
guys are
good.
good.
Yeah, they're all good, man. You know, you can't. They're still selling concerts out, so they're doing something right. You know, somebody might go, "Oh, the tribute band," you know, but hell, they're not doing bad. They sell them all out, man. So as long as they're selling them out, you know, more power to them.
Well, they had good
Um,
teachers to teach them to carry on, you know.
yeah, yeah, they got everybody's very talented, you know, and then Johnny. Yeah, I mean, Ronnie Van Zant's brother, and he's sang more Ronnie songs than Ronnie did, even. And that guy's
He
been,
sure has.
that
Demon.
guy's, he's
He's been
nonstop
doing
on.
it for God Almighty, how many years? 30.
Yeah. You know, what a great front man, too. Ronnie'd be
Yeah.
proud of him. I think Ronnie would really be proud of him.
Ronnie always said Johnny, so one day Johnny's going to be singing my songs. And
Yeah, and he doesn't try to be Ronnie, you know, he tries to be
no.
Donnie. So, I mean, Johnny. And then there's Donnie, you know, which, you know, Donnie's pretty cool, too. And then old crazy Kimmy, she said something kind of, I didn't know she had this kind of a sense of humor. She must have been smoking some sativa this day. And she goes, she says, cantaloupe for breakfast is getting boring. And Griff can't elope with me if I'm fat. Hey, Kimmy, man, you know, that was pretty funny. I think that's pretty witty, you know. You know, keep them coming, Kimmy. You know, that's I guess she's on the fat shaming diet, Craig. She's eating cantaloupe for breakfast now because she's trying to lose some weight so she can elope with Griff. Then
The
again,
can't elope, she can't elope, huh?
yeah, without the cantaloupe, she
She can't
can't
elope
elope.
without the cantaloupe.
Yeah. Oh God.
There's a song there
See,
somewhere.
Rock On says, Griff and Craig, let's do a morning show together. You can put me on over the phone. It will be fun. We can do a trivia and stump the roadie. I don't know if this guy's some kind of a DJ or something. Rock On. Rock On. Send us an email. I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're serious and you know you got some kind of radio show and yeah, Craig will go on there and we'll bring you on there or, you know, anything to boost the ratings. You know, we would like to join up with some other YouTubers and, you know, especially the ones that have
I go
uh,
on I go
great,
on radio shows. I went on one out
yeah,
in California here uh,
yeah,
not long ago.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's these guys. Maybe that's the same guys. I don't know. Let me see here. Another person says, oh yeah, this is the guy. He says it's South VA Ronnie, I think is his name. Who the hell keeps a lady's Tupperware as a souvenir and doesn't offer to return it? Yeah, I got permission to keep that, Leslie, and I would gladly return it if she asked me to, but she said I could have it, and man, every time I put something in there and I put it in the refrigerator, you know, it's always nice to know where that came from. So I appreciate that chili she made for me. And you guys don't hate just because a stone or a honkette sent me some chili home. Speaking of Stoned, I need to call Shelby up. I need to get her on this. Shelby, if you're listening, you better give me a call. It's time for you to come on here. She's dating Parker Lee, that singer for Molly Hatchet, and she's in love right now. And they're going around, you know, walking around on cloud nine. And we need her back Parker, man, we need her back over here on the Stone Roadie show, man. So cut her loose a little while. But that's the last comment, Craig. And I got
Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I got that little video to show. So it's not very long, but I got a lot of editing to do here. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. And you guys have a great Monday morning, and don't work too hard. And tune in for the Stone Roadie show. Probably either the end of this week or the first of next week. We'll have Gene Odom on there. We got Gene Odom on the end of this, so stick around. Vintage footage of Gene Odom at the Hell House property and on the trestle.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Happy trails to you. Cut.
Today I'm on my way to Jacksonville. I'm going to be going over to the west side of Jacksonville to meet Gene Odom. And Gene has a lot of good stories, interesting past. He was the childhood friend of the late, great Ronnie Van Zant of the band Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Better watch out, rattlesnakes, cottonmouth.
Where's the cedar tree you were talking about?
Right there.
That's the cedar tree?
The cedar tree that when you drive by, I can identify the property. There's another one on here somewhere. But that cedar tree right there is how you identify this property. By not knowing it, you know. The dock is right down there. The Hell House actually set, the dock's right down there. The Hell House actually set right in this area right here. This is where the Hell House sits. You're standing on the Hell House property where the music came from.
Well, it is a really nice, quiet place.
Now, and if you pay $400,000 this lot, you can't build past that to the water. You can't build past that.
Yeah.
It's a floodplain now, and you can only build up here. If you build, of course, you can build.
That's the creek that Ronnie fished in right there.
That's Peters Creek. It goes out into Black Creek, which goes out into the St. Johns River. But this is a tributary off of a creek that comes off of the St. Johns River. And there used to be a monster gator out here, and I'm sure there still is some gators.
And back in the day, in the late 60s, you'd come out here fishing?
Yeah, man, certainly. Late 60s, early 70s, and all the way up to 76, when we built the 76 and 77, when we built the studio over there. This was the spot, the Hell House. The original dock is under this one. A guy that stayed here as a caretaker for the people that bought the property for years. You know what? A gator just went down right there. See that big old wave?
I heard a splash when we came up here.
There's a gator right there. He just went down. A small one. That was a gator right there, buddy. Guarantee it.
Yeah, I heard a big splash.
That was a gator. He come over that grass and went in the water.
Well, the other dock must have been pretty close to the water.
Well,
There's the water up, is it?
Water's up now because of all the rain we've had, yeah. And but the old dock is under there. And whoever buys this, I'm gonna come down here one day, if I can, before they do it. Somebody buys it, I'm gonna say, if you're gonna build a new dock and you tear this up, I want them old boards underneath here. If I can get.
Yeah, you can make some picture frames out of that.
If I can get to them before they tear it up.
Because I think it's underwater, or I can see it right there. It's just right at the surface.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's the reason we're talking down there, right? Because the water's up because of all that rain we've been having. If we be quiet, that old gator will come up.
Looks like it'd be some good fishing in here, huh?
There is some good brim fishing, bass fishing, and right time of the year, there's some big old stripers that come through here. Back then we didn't know that. But you gotta know when they come through and what to fish when you catch them stripers.
So there was a little trail that went right up there, and then the hell house sat right up there
The hell house was right
near
up
that cedar tree.
there. Between right up there, this side of that cedar.
And this big old pine was here all along, right?
I'm sure it was. Been there a long time. Easy.
Well, that's pretty nice to be able to get come out here on the dock and look around.
Yeah, they would, that old hot hell house, they'd come out and jump in this creek.
Oh, they go swimming out here?
Shoot, yeah, man, they'd be jumping over this dock out there. Because it's 100 degrees in there. Shoot, yeah.
I bet.
Come on up, Edie.
Walking down here up to the trestle that's by the hell house, following Gene. He's made this trip a few times. Both of us crippled, so if we fall over, I don't know how we're going to get up. Trying to get a little swampy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been that, all that rain we've had. Usually this is nothing but sand and it's dry, but that rain, to kick this gas in the ass. That old river, that creek's way up.
Yes, you can tell.
Yeah, it's way up.
Be a nice place for a moccasin to be hanging, huh?
That's right, buddy. Damn, I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm getting a pretty good shot right there. I'm going to piss.
Right here is the trestle.
You walk up that rock, and you're coming down, you got to be careful, because that rock is on your fingers.
This is where they shot their album cover, but it was a wooden trestle. And now it's concrete, so a lot of people used to come up here and listen to them jamming because they couldn't get on the property and it was the only way to hear them. So, but that's back when it was a wooden trestle, but this is the creek right here and where the trestle was. And I managed to stumble along up here on top of the trestle. Gene didn't want to try to come up, he didn't have the right shoes. On top of the trestle, looking down the creek where the hell house used to be, and this is where the old wooden trestle was. But now it's concrete. This is what it looks like where the hell house was back in the right hand side where we just were. Pretty cool.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, keep token until then.